and welcome to your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo, coming to you from the new and modern Harrison PATH station. Today, we're going to learn all about the improvements and community initiatives of the PATH system and learn how they transport travelers seamlessly between New York and New Jersey. We are here at the gorgeous new Harrison Head House. Congratulations. I know this has been years in the making, and I haven't been down here since before COVID. I cannot believe the transformation.
Yeah.
Tell us all about it.
Well, this is also exciting for us too, this new station. It's just really a testimony of everything that PATH really means to the riders, connecting with the community and helping the community to connect with their points of destination, whether it's work. During COVID, our main theme was basically continue to run service to get essential workers to their place of work. So that's our mainstay, connecting our riders to loved ones, to entertainment, to whatever their needs are. So this brand new station really feeds into that whole philosophy and just really understanding the needs. We were just talking a few minutes ago what this station looked like. And with the building of the new Red Bull Stadium, this area just blossomed.
Absolutely.
And it blossomed isn't even the word, it really exploded. As you know, we talk about Jersey City as well. There's just an explosion around transit-oriented development. So not only did the Red Bull Stadium come in, but there's PATH. And with that, there's the need for the residents. So a lot of new residents involved in this area, which increased the need for a larger station. The capacity of the historic station, it just wasn't there. We would have lines wrapped around the block after Red Bulls games, or if there was a problem with our service. So it was time for that need.
And by the way, that stadium totally also brought in a whole new demographic here where soccer is very popular.
Absolutely. There are weekends, for instance, their ticket sales are like 17,000, some 11,000, sometimes 20,000. So it's a significant increase to what we're used to what we used to handle on the weekends. So again, it's in response to the needs of the community. And as we see the community evolving and changing, what can we do? We're here to serve our riders and the community. So this is a perfect testimony. This station is a perfect testimony to that.
So I know it's efficient in handling large volume, and we're going to talk about some of the amenities, but it's pretty. It's actually really pretty. Talk about the architecture of it.
Well, the architecture really, I'm an engineer. My background is that, so I'm very focused on functional. So the space, it had to be spacious. So that's very important because today we need wide open space. It was about giving wide open space to the community so they could feel like they're breathing. The other thing about the architecture, you see the glass, a lot of glass, that also speaks to security. Right? Security during the evening hours so that our security officers, our Port Authority police officers, maybe if they are standing on the platform or on this concourse level, they could visually see what's happening up on the platform. So that's important in and of itself. The other great feature is also elevators. The prior stations were not did not have ADA accessibility.
Wow.
So each one of these head houses has an elevator. Our newest electronic system that accepts mobile devices instead of using either a SmartLink card or a Metro card or buying a 2-4, you can pay actually with your phone, with your mobile phone, with your mobile watch, with just a bank card that has that electronic feature. So we are moving into the 21st century. It's about improving the customer experience. That is at the forefront of our minds.
Yeah, I lose those cards all the time. I am notorious for having to pay full price in a parking deck because I always lose my card.
Yeah.
So just being able to tap my way through is amazing.
Exactly.
Talk about the opening and how the community, because you had a big splashy opening and a lot of the community came out.
Well, I think, again, the community feels a connection here. And it was a little bittersweet because what they saw was remnants of the last historic piece of what they once knew as Harrison Station. But what we've done is we've selected certain elements of that historic infrastructure to preserve so that that memory lives on. So that personal connection, actually, again, I shared with you, one of our customers actually did a whole video of the final Harrison station before it deconstructed and we constructed this new one. I really wanted to make sure that we understood where we came from, because a lot of times you can't know where you're going, or you can't really value this great station unless you knew what the old one looked like. You could see where we came from and the amenities, the new amenities that we were bringing to the customer. So it was so important to retain those historic pieces, to retain photos, and really share with our customers. This is really to improve that customer experience. And this is, again, a testimony to PATH's dedication and just really our commitment to continuing to find ways to do that. A more reliable system, as we're going to talk about PATH Forward. What else are we going to do to, what's next, right?
Well, I have to say, when we first came in, my eyes immediately went to that, because that was from the old guard, right? And it's so retro and cool. When was the original station built here in Harrison? And to follow up on that, why Harrison?
We've had a long relationship with Harrison Station. As you remember, it was a very small structure. We have a very good relationship with the mayor of the town of Harrison, as we do Hoboken, as we do Jersey City, as we do in Newark. So each one of the towns that we serve, we make sure we reach out to our public stakeholders. We make sure we are connected to the mayors of the town, to the offices. Why? Because sometimes we have service interruptions. Sometimes there are things going on in PATH, such as a new station. We need to understand, not just from surveys, but also from the local stakeholders, from the local mayors, what are the needs of your town, so that as we're planning projects, we can understand what needs to happen in order to meet the needs of the customer. So that's really our best way of getting feedback directly from our customers, directly from the constituents of the mayors of each one of the towns. So Harrison was a town that basically exploded overnight because, again, of the new Red Bull Stadium. And as we began to look at our station, the architecture, we had to really take a look at, can it continue to meet the needs of this growing town? And of course, the answer was no. It had to evolve as well. As the town was evolving, we had to evolve in order to increase the capacity of the station and be able to provide amenities such as ADA, the whole demographics was changing, providing outdoor space such as plaza area for new vendors to come in with new ideas, artistic ideas. How do we do that? Again, it's a relationship with the community and finding venues and ways to be able to open the door to do that with the community, more communicative with the community rather than before, which was more of a standoff. We do this and you just live with it. We really want to have that dialogue and see, can we find a ground where we are responding to the needs of the community? But we're not going to know that unless we open the doors. And the first step, of course, is always talking to the mayors of the town. And that's how all of that started, talking with the mayor of Harrison.
Talk about some of the safety components that you've instilled here.
Well, as most of our stations, we've got cameras that are, located at some strategic locations, again, to monitor. We've got bodies of people, so they're not just cameras, but they're bodies behind those cameras that are really monitoring, movements at our various stations. And our police are never far away. Their response time is usually less than 5 minutes, sometimes 3 minutes. As we kind of, look at that, they're very well trained, very well equipped to deal with medical emergencies, to deal with disruptive passengers, to deal with a passenger that maybe has fallen into the track area. So to get partnered together with our operations staff, that's also amazing. Our operations staff, they are so very knowledgeable, of course, about the system, but working hand in hand with the police officers, that response time is sped up phenomenally. So understanding our train system, being able to connect with our train operators immediately. So all of that plays into making sure our customers are safe and secure, and the response time is as minimal as possible.
30 years of success here with the Port Authority, and you've seen a lot. A lot of great times, but also trying times. So obviously the first thing that comes to mind is September 11th, 2001. Where were you?
September 11th, 2001, I was actually 7 months pregnant, and I was working on the Newark Monorail Extension project out at Newark Airport. But our main office, my department's main office, was actually One World Trade Center. I had been there the day before, actually September 10th, at a meeting with my colleagues, just making plans, continuing to make plans for the monorail extension. So on that fateful day, I remember being on the phone with someone, and someone had said there's a plane that went into the World Trade Center. I was like, how can you not see that? And but when they reported that a second plane had gone in, that's when everything started to click. And from that moment on, it was almost as though time stood still for myself and my coworkers. And I lived in New York at the time. I couldn't even get home because they had closed all the crossings.
Yeah.
And so it was a very, very difficult time emotionally, watching on TV what was happening, not knowing if your coworkers on the other side, if they were still alive. So it was a very difficult time. And but one of the things that I knew was that the only way that I was going to emotionally um, deal with it together with my coworkers was to be with them. We talked a lot. We would just sit and either cry, or we would sit and watch things on TV as we found out different people made it out. We cheered. It was just a very bittersweet time. It was a very traumatic time, and it really caused you to pause and really think about life, think about what the things that were important to you. So it was a moment. Good morning, everyone, and just really want to thank you for being here with us as we make this exciting announcement.
I want to learn about you. 30 years at this. Where did you begin?
Well, I graduated from Stevens Institute of Technology in Hoboken with a civil engineering degree, and actually I started with the Port Authority. I'm a Port Authority baby, as they call them, and I started at Kennedy Airport and as a construction inspector, and just over the years, just really grew. Had some amazing managers that gave me a lot of opportunity. Being an African American woman, in the Port Authority, in construction, with all these, white males, I didn't even know what to expect. But I had some amazing managers and coworkers that really helped propel me in the agency. They helped me believe in myself.
That's awesome.
And really gain a voice. So I had some great coworkers, some great managers that helped me to respond better. I was fortunate enough in the agency, had really good experience, and just went from one project to the other that went well. And here I am today. And it's a shift for me because I went from construction and now I'm in operations. So it's a different feeling, You get the opportunity to just really make a difference in the customer, in the direct difference in the riders' lives. So even like just a couple of minutes ago when I told them hold a train, that's an impact, because if they stay too long, it's going to be a delay.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I mean by that direct impact. And it's a responsibility. I don't take it lightly. It is an amazing responsibility that you've really got to own, number one, but then you've got to use it to the best that you can. And that's why you need some amazing staff in order to do that, because I can't be everywhere, right?
No,
They
you
can't,
cannot.
right?
Yeah.
They've got the expertise to do it, and they're empowered to do it. And it's been a wonderful experience over the years.
I think what our viewers maybe don't understand is how the Port Authority as a whole impacts. Because the Port Authority is running what?
The Port Authority basically moves the region. So we run 5 airports, right? Newark, JFK, LaGuardia, Stewart, and Teterboro.
Wow.
See? We also run the tunnels and the bridges. and we also have the ports. All right, so all the container, a lot of the goods that you and I are using today actually come into the ports, which is also a major arm of the Port Authority. And we also own the site, the World Trade Center site. So just around that whole area. So a lot of, a lot of impact to the region in so many ways. We actually literally do move the region, whether it's by rail, whether it's by boat, or whether it's by air. So that's really, our motto.
And we ended this interview with perfect timing. This was so much fun getting to know you. Thank you so much. We're here at Grove Street Station now in Jersey City, and you guys here are undergoing renovations as well.
Yes, the Grove renovation is one of the first portfolio projects in our portfolio for the Path Forward campaign. That's a $430 million investment that the Port Authority is investing into PATH in terms of station rehabs just like this one, as well as other investments around the system like track work. So our Grove Street Station has been undergoing about 6 months of intensive, very public rehabilitation work. That work includes retiling the floors, painting the walls, and really restoring the station to what its last known historical image was, which is really fascinating. Grove is a very historical station, as are a lot of our stations here at PATH. And so if you go down, it'll be a nice blend of modernization, new lighting, fresh paint, and tiles, but you'll still have that historical feel of what Grove Station was.
This was constructed originally in what year?
I want to say early 1900s. I have a photo that hangs in my office of 1912, wow. And Grove Station was here. So before that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So all of these renovations, Harrison, Grove Street, it's all part of the Path Forward program. Clarelle told us a little bit about that back in Harrison. What are your thoughts about the plans for PATH?
Yeah, it's a very exciting time for PATH and our customers. The Path Forward program is an unprecedented investment into truly amenities and enhancements and structural work that'll really have the customers experiencing a more reliable, smoother, and more comfortable ride. It's a challenge for us from a customer experience perspective. We know that as a 24/7 operating railroad, we have to inconvenience customers somewhere. We do spend a lot of time trying to figure out where we can make the least impact. At Grove, that's a great example. We did spend a lot of time and a lot of resources trying to determine how to do the work, which is taking, every tile out on the platform. So we did have to impact access to the platform, and we chose to do that using bypasses, unfortunately. That was the best way we could do it. But we really committed to our customers as part of the overall Path Forward campaign to have boots on the ground, to really hear what they're saying, and to come out and talk to them pretty regularly. So one thing about the Path Forward program is it's not just the station rehab work and a lot of service disruptions, but it's also PATH committing to our customers to come out and engage with them more often. We have a series of virtual public updates, so it's time for people to come home and then log on. And then in the spring and again in the fall, we will come back and have a series of in-person public information sessions, going out to meet the customers where they are and hear their feedback. And at Grove, I'm happy to say that that's a good example on where we were able to hear what our customers were saying and make improvements to the experience. So if you look just right over there, you'll see an orange sign that's talking about, it is in Spanish because we try to, cater to all of our diversity in our ridership. But we enacted an ADA limited mobility shuttle bus to help those riders who are inconvenienced by the bypasses to get from Grove to one of our adjoining stations, so either Journal Square or Exchange or Newport. And that way customers could call, they could show up and have that ride to help them overcome that minor inconvenience. So we heard the customer. That's not something we did at first, but because of the feedback they gave us, we were happy to put that in place for the second half of the Grove Street work.
So obviously, hearing the customer, making those changes, that's so important. But are you integrating yourself in the community in fun ways?
We participate in a lot of local events. A good example is Hoboken twice a year has the Arts and Music Festival, and we have a table there every year, twice a year. So that's a really positive way that we go out with the community and we get to interact and answer questions. We have a lot of fun giveaways. It's really fun for us to engage, especially with kids. And a lot of kids love trains. They love the transit system. So we're out there. And then an even more recent example is we have a series of poster contests. So right now, if you were to travel around PATH, you'll see we just hosted our summer poster contest, which is a fun partnership with a Hoboken public school system. And kids from K to 8th grade can submit their posters and they go through an evaluation process. And then we have a fun community event at the Hoboken Terminal Station. And
I love that.
yeah, we do it with Hoboken and Jersey City around the holiday time.
Does PATH go out to the community like in charitable ways?
We do a lot of community presence and assistance. We will help host certain events on our plazas. A lot of our stations, we actually don't own a lot of land outside. So for example, I don't think we own this plaza, but if we were to cross 3 feet over, we own that. But at Journal Square and at Harrison, we have more footprints. So we will host community events like farmers markets on our plazas some year at Journal Square. Last year, we hosted a National Overdose Prevention Awareness Day event. We have hosted Egyptian Fest in the past as well.
Oh, wow, that's so fun.
Yeah, so we try to make ourselves a resource for the community, and we do support the local arts. So through our poster contests, through the murals that we are getting up in our stations, and also, again, we have some space at our Journal Square space station where it's not rented out for retail currently. So we took the opportunity, we partnered with local arts organizations to showcase local artists on a rotating basis.
Yeah, and it caters to the demographics, right? Getting them all involved and just the evolution, because Jersey City, it's a mini New York at this point. I spent a few years living here, and I mean, it's changed in the few years since I've been out. I mean, it just is growing. And talk about that and how you have to really make sure your infrastructure can support all of that.
Yeah, so, of course, during COVID, our ridership took a dive. We had to rethink everything from operations and CX and safety and cleanliness. Now that we're coming back from COVID, our ridership is coming back. But to your point, our communities have changed. And so we're using the data that we have. We have a lot of surveys to, number one, try to understand who our customers are and where they're coming from and where they're trying to go so that we can best tailor how we communicate with them. And then we also have, again, a lot of the investment into our system to be able to support increased ridership going in and out of, between New York and New Jersey.
Do you have an app that communicates with riders?
We do, and I love plugging our app. It is the one-stop shop for anyone who wants to plan their trip or understand if we're having any delays or service impacts. It is called Ride PATH. It's available for both Apple and Google devices, and I highly encourage everyone to download that. You can even get push notifications to get, customized to your trip needs right to your phone. And most importantly, because we do have a lot of weekend work, it's the best way to figure out how to plan your trip and know what work is coming up for the weekend you want to travel.
Oh, that's so key. Do you think the app is the best way to hit your customer?
I think for certain customers, yes. We do offer a variety of communication channels because we want to meet customers where they are and have them have PATH be as convenient for them. So we also have a social media presence on X, and we also have a website. It's panyj.gov/pathforward. And then we also have other feedback forms if you wanted a personalized question. We have an email address. We have a feedback form on the app. So we try to really get a lot of different customer touch points.
I mean, I don't think you left any stone unturned.
We're trying.
Yeah. I mean, where would you like to improve on maybe?
I think we can, we're making a lot of improvements into our stations. We're always trying to improve what we communicate and how. So for us, getting feedback from the customer and really making sure that we're giving them the information that they need to make important decisions about their travel is key. So whether that is migrating to something maybe like AI or using chatbots, which we don't currently have, but we're very interested in that. And we also partner with a body called the PATH Riders Council. It's our official partnership with our riders. People apply from all of our communities and you're selected and they serve 2-year terms. They advocate for their communities, for their constituents, for the PATH customers. So to me, everything we do at PATH, we take back to them, we take back to the customers and make sure it incorporates their feedback.
Well, thank you so much. It's been such an amazing time just being here with you today and Clarelle and learning about PATH and the plans now and in the future. And it's just very exciting times.
Yeah, thank you for coming out to PATH. Welcome your feedback again. You know how to reach us and everyone can download the app.
Thank you for joining me on another episode of Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. We'll see you back here next week.